STAKK Nation
Champions.
Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where we break down the fuckery, the scam. Oh damn, we're probably gonna get flagged on this video. It's not been I think you have to wait like 5 minutes before you drop the F-bomb.
That's what we do best, man. If you want more of that, just click the like button.
Look at my freedoms go out the window. YouTube is determining when I can drop the F-bomb.
Oh man.
Sad times. Listen, we've made some videos in the past where we saw some women crying on TikTok, crying about how much they have to work and they're still not able to make ends meet. Okay? You see, they say life is what you make it.
Life is what you make it.
And based on how you're making it, it will allow you to be able to pivot and change based on what is happening around you. The sun will always rise, no matter what is happening. The banks and all these other predatory entities that we have around us will always do what they have to do. I think fighting them is a massive waste of energy. People have been fighting them for decades. I think we all need to come to a realization, an acknowledgement that whoever or whatever activist has been doing in the past. I'm not saying that these activists do not have good intention. I'm not saying that these activists betrayed the people who trusted them to go deliver on whatever the mission was. But what I'm saying is, we cannot see any clear, defined, measurable changes. And one thing that has actually been made very clear to me by someone who's a huge mentor of mine, right, out in Texas, has been that anything that you do, that you set out to do, you must be able to report measurable progress. If you said you're trying to buy a Lambo, well, 1 year from now, what are the things that you have done to get you closer to that goal? You need to be able to measure these things because this would determine your possibilities of succeeding, right? So up until this point, I think a lot of the stuff that activists have been doing, whether it's people fighting for equal pay, people fighting for women's rights, feminists, okay, people who have been, running for office with the promises of standing up to the banks, cutting taxes, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. Okay. If we were to step back and take some measurable points where we could say the changes have happened, I think we can safely say that those efforts have not yielded the results that we expected.
Yep. Presidential election after presidential election.
Okay. So if those results are not yielding if those efforts are not yielding the results that we expected, I don't think it's illogical to say, let's try something else. Right? Because if you're doing the same thing and expecting a different result, what do they call that?
You ain't getting that Lambo.
Okay. That's insanity.
Yep.
Double O.
Yes, sir.
What is happening now here?
The psychops. Employees are so sick of the 5-day work week that most would take a pay cut to make a 4-day week happen. Are you serious?
Well, I want to point out one thing. It says employees are sick of. Who took this survey? Which employees are you talking about? Because these guys just write whatever, right?
Fortune magazine.
And then just put it out there.
Most people are working 2 to 3 jobs just to freaking make a living. You tell them they're tired of working 5
they're
days.
tired of working 5 days a week.
What a setup.
But you see, if you own the media company, you can just write whatever and put it out there.
No, I don't think they're writing whatever.
What do you mean?
I call it the I c- I c-
Or you write your plans.
yes.
You do your social engineering
Yes.
through the media.
Yes. Boil them slowly. These are the crumbs.
Well, if employees are sick of the 5-day work week, and most of them are willing to take a pay cut at a time when everything is getting more expensive,
Tell them.
to make that 4-day week happen,
Really.
it sounds to me like they're just giving you more time to go and get a third and a fourth job.
Boom.
Because you will never,
To survive on one income.
exactly,
While the CEOs are getting paid fat salaries
relentlessly.
and paying no taxes.
I mean, this is greed that we're seeing on a unprecedented level.
Not only are you paying taxes at one 4-hour day, 4-hour day week job, you're gonna pay taxes on the second one, on the third one.
Exactly.
Feel it? They can't increase the taxes directly, so they have to find an indirect way of increasing the taxes.
Okay. Well, while we're speaking about increasing taxes, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we're not going to be increasing taxes for liking our video. We're not going to be increasing taxes for following us on Twitter or X, as they call it now. Okay. So please do us a favor. Like the video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Well, here's one thing I would say about, I just want to just outline some things to really give us some perspective on where we are as we see this insane headline here. Okay. Well, actually, here's one thing. Let's go back real quick before we even look at this, because
Send them back in time.
yeah, let's go back. Let's roll back in time real quick, because if you're able to change from a 4-day or a 5-day work week, right, this will also mean that the 5-day work week that was in place was put there by someone and could always have been changed. There is no significance to a 5-day work week.
We had 100 years.
Yes. So this is here, the 5-day work week became a part of American labor law in the 1930s after decades of striking by labor activists who were tired of working 14-hour days demanded by some employers.
That's a lot in that.
So if it's up to the employers, they really just want slaves.
Boom.
Keep working. Go ahead.
And they use the government
Yes.
that we're supposed to trust to not implement this.
Yeah.
Not only was your life maybe even a little bit better back then,
Yeah.
with lesser hours, it's even gotten worse.
Exactly.
They want to work you to death. They worked out a deal for them to still continue to work you to death, even with 40-hour work week.
40-hour work week. You can do overtime, man. You know? Well, here's the thing.
And people will say capitalism is the best.
Exactly.
All right, continue.
I mean, look, I think capitalism is great. But people who are predatory can also use capitalism in that way.
Yes, sir.
It's like a gun. You can use it for good or evil.
Defend yourself or kill people.
Yes. So, here's the thing. I would say where we stand right now, we're in a place where obviously we see that inflation has been steadily rising. People cannot even afford most of their basic
Expenses,
right?
Even shelter is hard these days.
And then, not only that, with the inflation, we also find ourselves in a place where wages have not been rising to match inflation for I don't know how long. It's not really been, right? I mean, if you just look at 2019 alone, the amount of inflation that we've seen there, I don't think anyone has seen those. In fact, there's you have the Federal Reserve talking about employment destruction, removing people from work in the name of trying to save the economy. I could also argue that they're trying to make more people stranded, miserable, and dependent on whatever solution they will bring down the line.
What Economic Forum already told them.
Right? You own nothing. seems to me like there's more people who are on the path to owning nothing now than any other time. Right? So they're pushing on with this. We also find ourselves in an environment where people are working 2, 3 jobs and such just to survive. I am trying to understand which one of you who is unable to afford life in the current setup went and took this survey to say that in fact you prefer 4-day work week. You see where I'm going with this?
That's just why when you hacked me at the beginning of the show, I said there's the psychops, right?
Yeah.
This is how to put the crumbs out there to have you to start thinking that was the strategic better solution.
Yeah.
Whereas they have an agenda.
Yeah, the agenda is to keep.
Have you have that universal basic income that California is pushing,
Yeah.
that Canada is pushing?
Yeah, it seems that way. Because if you're pushing everyone into a certain
box or
certain
state.
situation,
Yep.
mental state, predicament, however you want to call it, I mean, to the south of Gaza, whichever way, you're forcing everyone to be in this condition where you have the upper hand.
Full control.
You are able now to directly impact your targets because you know you have structured them and put them where you want them to be.
Boom. Mentally, physically, everything.
Okay. It makes no sense to me that this is even something that is being considered. Apparently, they're working on about to start trying this out in California.
Yep.
I feel like California is an experimentation ground right now for something.
California is losing out so bad it's benefiting Texas. But Texas don't want the California mindset there.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane to me. Look, I think this is where we all have to take a pause and just reconsider what is it that is happening around us and what can we do to better protect ourselves from this sort of insane things, right? Because at the end of the day, if they decide that it's going to be 4-day work week from now on, right? Unfortunately, it does not matter what clown you voted for. They are not going to be stopping it. This is heavily evident.
Literally, it's another way of taxing you if you think about it indirectly.
Yeah.
They've taxed you. They can't increase the taxes any further. They've done inflation. That is not coming down. Another way to do it is to just cut your work week.
Here's what is insane. When you look at situations like this, when you see stories like this, right? And, because again, man, life is about patterns. When you look at certain things, you can now sort of predict various outcomes from that situation. So if you take the patterns that are evolving here, you consider all the options, and then you consider the history of the people who are pushing this message, right? I would say it is not unrealistic to come to various conclusions. Whether it's that this is how you push towards universal basic income, this is how you make sure that people never own anything, so that you're always tethered to them, having them working forever,
dependent on the government.
Look at student loan. You are tethered. They have interest that make sure that you have a hard time as possible to pay that off. So at that point in time, no matter what you do, no matter where you fly, okay, you have this thing that these people can always use to keep coming after you.
You're in debt most of your life. Imagine.
Exactly. And if you respect that debt, right? And mind you, I'm saying respect that debt, which just means that you're really accepting that it makes sense. It is reasonable that these people charge you this much just because you wanted to obtain higher education.
$60,000.
Exactly, right? In some cases, way over, right? People are paying. If you respect that debt, which means you're worried to move on with your life because you're scared not to make that payment to them because of what you think they might come and do to you. If you respect that debt, you will forever be enslaved to the system. And the reason I use that word respect that debt is because The same people that you are bending over backwards your whole life to pay back your debt are the same people that create money out of thin air.
Yep.
Do not respect their own debts, default on it, get bailed out with more printed money. What am I missing? You know? So I think it's really the same thing here, right? People who have obtained things that is above their means of living, right? Maybe you really should not have an $80,000 car or something like that, but you went ahead and did it anyway because you want to look good, right?
Yep.
You will not escape it if now they take back your work hours because you'll be making less money. And I think, like you said rightfully, Double O, this is a precursor to what comes down the road. Insane.
Yep. Started from the 14-hour work week.
Yeah.
To the 14-hour work day to the 8-hour work day. Mm-hmm. And then they'll eventually do a 10-hour work day. Just shift it around, make it work for them. Do you really even have to work for somebody?
You really don't.
You can just exchange your value. Why do you need to work under a corporation? Why can't you all be corporations and then change or trade value?
Yeah.
Be a 1099.
It's insane. Well, listen. Let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, there are people that look at things like this or maybe everything that we've deduced from this one article here. But we're also giving this information based on years of studying the space, navigating through the space, and understanding some of the strategies that these corporations employ to drive the whole globe in the direction that they wish to see it go. Some might call it conspiracy theories. I mean, that's fine.
They called COVID conspiracy theory until it happened.
Yeah, I would say to those people, your life, not conspiracy theory. I have nothing else here on this one.
That's it, man. Like and subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sun is shining on your forehead. Do not disappoint the sun. Let your ideas come out and shine bright. Or reflect your brightness, as we all know you are. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow us on X, especially. Okay. And until next time, Brazen out.
Double O.